Hey guys, this is David with Mercer Outdoors, and we've got a new venture going on. Some of you guys have been following me, so we've started a new business spun off of our outdoors business. Started to keep it under the same umbrella, but decided it was so different that it was best to separate it. So if you've been following me, you've probably seen some of my posts, and we've started a new business. It's called Relic Arms and Custom Engraving. So we'll be doing all kinds of firearms and knives and custom engraving using our fiber laser. So it's going to be really fun. Also, going to be hosting some of our custom designs that we're creating in collaboration with Albertus Terblanche, a good friend of mine. If you'll check out our website, relicarms.us, you'll see we've started adding those. They'll be available for digital download for people who just do it as a hobby, or if you're in the business. We're also going to be offering Lightburn ready files, so you can just load the file. I'm doing some multicolor stuff, so really quick to get started. You have all the settings in there to get multicolors on PMags, which is really awesome. And the file's already broke out. You just load the file and you're ready to go. As long as your laser is pretty similar to mine, we're using a 60 watt JPT MOPA laser. So, and if you have any questions regarding that, you can reach out and I can help you dial in if your laser is a different wattage, or you're using a different lens. We're using a 300. So with all that being said, got a cool project. We've been doing a lot of PMags lately. So Albertus had done a really cool graphic here a while back of Jesus with some thorns around his head and some scroll work on there, and it said, "I will fear no evil." And it just it really stuck out. I really loved it. So I thought to myself, what fitting time as we're approaching Easter coming up soon. So I wanted to work on that and convert it to a multicolor um, graphic. So I've gotten close on that, but I wanted to take a minute to show you guys something, because a lot of people struggle sometimes when they're creating or say getting your graphic to fit a template. So I wanted to show you some tricks that I've come up with that I'm sure it's not new. It's just the way I do it. So I thought if I could show you guys, it might help somebody. So what I've got here, let me transition this over to the, there you go. You should be able to see my screen now. Okay, I'm in Lightburn. So what I've got is got the graphic here that we've been working on. And I just drug in one of my PMag templates that I've already created. And it's just a blue line tool layer template. So I always start with that because the spacing on this template is already dialed in to my fixture and my jig on my laser. So that's the important part for repeatability and getting things right, correct every time. This step is important, and it can be different, but however you do it, you need to do it the same way. So what I've done is basically this little center bar. All that is a spacer bar that aligns with my, go back to this screen over here. Okay, so you see my jig here, and this little spacer bar between the two jigs, the two fixtures, that's what that center, that's what that center bar right there is for. So when I red light this, so that's what I was going to get at, is the first thing I do is I red light my center bar on my laser bed. I'm going to do that right now just to check that I'm pretty close. So hit laser, hit frame. Oh, got to turn it on. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully you guys are still with me here. Turn my laser. That's on. Make sure we are. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, like I said before, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to light up my center bar there. That's just for my alignment purposes. Purposes. Think of it like a registration mark. If you're familiar with graphic design or anything, it's basically my registration mark that helps me align to my bed. So I'm going to hit frame, tool layer only, and I'm going to go over here to the laser. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me turn the lights down. You ever have trouble with your red lighting? Sometimes it can be because you're grouped with something outside of your work bed and you don't realize it. I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see it or not, but let me turn this light out. Maybe you can see it. It's actually lit up perfectly. Put the light out for a minute. You can see what I'm talking about. Maybe there you go. So that's how I register to my jig every time. Turn my light back on. Okay. So that is close. Now let's get back to here. Okay. Back with you now. So now what I'm going to do is I've got to fit. I know that these graphics are they probably not perfect. So what I always do is I always save my templates into my art library. That's where they live. And then anytime I'm working with a new design, I go through this step and I use those same templates every time, just to be safe, because you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here so we can see. We'll work on this right one for now. All right, so I've got that grouped where I can bring it in all together, and I am just going to find a corner. So kind of figure out where we need to be here. Okay, so yeah, I see it's slightly off. That's okay. What I want to do is just get it close and drag the corners up and down just a little bit. May need to rotate it. I don't want to cut off. I'm going to use the cookie cutter or the cut shapes function here in a minute, but I don't want to cut off too much. So let's get it close. I want to make sure Jesus' face is still centered. We might bring it down just a hair, because this bottom edge is important, because that's the bottom, fits the bottom base plate of the PMAC. There we go. So now it's fitting pretty close to all the way around. It's hanging over in a couple places, but that's okay because we're going to trim it. So what you do, first things first, always duplicate your outline, your template outline, because when you use the cut shapes feature, it's going to disappears, a one-time use type of deal. So I always select on my outer line and I'm gonna hit duplicate. It's automatically selected the duplicated version. So then I changed that to a toolpath. We can turn the red off for now so we can see it. So now you can see my toolpath. Let's bring it down to the bottom of the layer list so it's above the graphic. And there we go. You can see that you can see where the orange line is. It's going to trim. So I just kind of glance at everything, make sure I'm happy with what that's going to be. That's okay, but it's going to trim just a little bit more of Jesus than I want it to. So let me show you a trick here. And so now I want to select my graphic. Come up here to the Tools menu and go to Deform Selection 16 points. There at the bottom right there. So now you've got all these points we can tweak the image with. Now it does distort some, so you got to make sure it keeps it doesn't mess up too bad. I'm going to bring this down into the corner here. Bring this one down to get to the line we're matching there. Bring this one down. Bring this one back up just a little bit. That was too much. Okay, it's looking good. Now, we'll bring this one down and in just a little bit because it's hanging over a little bit too much. You can see what I'm talking about. I mean, outside the line there is going to trim off. Inside the line, it's going to stay. And the cookie cut the cut shapes feature will. There we go, right there. Now let's back it up and make sure. Oh yeah. So you don't even notice that Jesus's face is not distorted because these two inner points pretty much nail down the midpoints of the graphic. So you're only stretching the outer edges when you do that. Do it that way. Bump that one in just a hair. Okay. And up here, what we're going to do, we'll barely pull it out just a hair. Okay. You can hold the space bar and drag your image up and down just really quickly. Like that. There we go, right there. Just go around checking all the points. The top I'm not concerned with because that's a black area that'll be unlasered anyway, so that's okay. Let's bring this in just a little bit. Don't want to cut off no more than we have to. I want a good clean line, but I don't want to cut off no more than we have to. So that's going to work there. That's good. Right here is pretty good. We might cut just a tick more right there. There we go. Got it lined up perfect. Okay. Okay. So I have worked my way. That might be a little bit excessive right there. Bring it back in just a hair right there. That'll work. Okay, so for this right one, we've got it aligned in my template window. And remember, I'm just working with the duplicate. red line is still there. Okay, so what you do now, hit escape, select your grouped image, then hold shift and select the outer tool layer outline that you created. Come up with tools and cut shapes. Then what that done is now you can see it trimmed everything off beyond trimmed everything beyond my oh, wait a minute. What did that do? That done something wrong there. No, it didn't. Let's turn our so what you got to do is now you got to ungroup the image. Then you should be able to select just what you trimmed, and watch this disappear. Everything outside the red line should disappear. Bam. So now you've got a perfectly clean image lined up and perfect to your template. So that's that side. Tell you what, I'll do the other side later. Let's go ahead now and let's load a PMAG in. Let's light up this outline one more time. Contour. Switch it over to the laser so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to stick this in here. Now you can see right now it's not perfect all the way around. It's good left to right, or really close. But I haven't tightened these down yet because there's a little bit of lost motion. So what I like to do is jiggle it around just a little bit until I get it perfect. I'm going to move my XY. If you don't have an XY table, you need one. It makes all the difference in the world. So always, always, always set your focal length first. So that's got my focal length right. Now I'm going to align the bottom of my red light at the top of the base plate right here. I'll just make sure that the jig is lined up. Just slide it down right there. So it can't move on us. My red light's hitting that corner perfectly. And it's pretty much hitting me right at that corner perfectly. Some people, not knocking other people, but some people don't cut the graphic off and they just let it randomly laser on this edge down here, and that just but then it skips a spot because everywhere the laser can't see. So on my templates, I've really gone to extra trouble to make sure that the graphic stops perfectly at the corner where it rolls off. I just think it gives a better finished look. The same thing down here, like it wraps all the way to the bottom of your base plate and then wraps around. So trying to make that good. And these same exact templates we use with the loaded graphics, this exact Lightburn file will be available. We've got other designs already on the website, and this one will be on there eventually as well. So stay tuned with that. thorns.us, easy to remember. So that's all there is to it with red lighting. So what we're going to do now, we'll turn the lights up here. And back over to the computer here. So there we go. And you'll notice I removed the black. I had a black graphic behind it just so you can see what it looks like on a black PMAC. I've removed that, turned that layer off so that all I'm engraving is what's going to be engraved. So we've got 3 different colors. Here, let's get rid of that green. Don't need that. Got 3 different colors here. We got a tan, a gray, and what I call it FDE. It's a brown, pretty dang close to FDE. Let's come down here. .300 lens. Here's my FDE color. Okay. So now I've got my tan, my FDE, and I like labeling them too. Make sure flood fill is not on. I do not like flood fill. It creates like a line around the perimeter of your graphic. Sometimes if you want that to happen, that's okay, but if you don't, that can be a problem. Okay, so there's my 3 colors ready to go. So last step is let's highlight all. I've got cut selected graphics enabled. That way it ensures that nothing else on my artboard tries to engrave. Only what I've got selected is going to engrave. So cut selected graphics, frame. One last time. Looks good. Let's set my phone up on my video. This recording as well. Okay, so that looks good. All that's left now is proper PPE. Let's put our laser glasses on. Gonna switch it over so you guys can see it burn. That's the red lighting. It's ready to go. Just hit the start button so you guys can see it. We turn the thing on here. You'll notice this had to be a negative for it to laser right. The graphic of Jesus I had to convert to a negative. You're lasering the light parts of his face instead of the dark parts. You want the black of the PMAG to show through. That is awesome. What a more fitting. It couldn't be a more fitting graphic for the showcase for Easter coming up. also be available on the website. PMags will be available, custom engraved with this on it, or if you want to buy just the uh, just the artwork, will be available, as well as the Lightburn ready file, complete file. So I think that turned out great, guys. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, but I appreciate you guys hanging with me, and had to work through a few little kinks right there, but I think it turned out beautiful. So thanks for hanging out with me for a few. But go like and subscribe on Facebook for me. Like and subscribe. This is YouTube, so like and subscribe on YouTube, but check us out on Facebook at Relic Arms and Custom Engraving, and you can also find all the information on our website, relicarms.us. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and y'all have a blessed day, and enjoy Easter. So you guys have a great one. Talk to you soon.